Hi everyone, my name is Laughlin Murray. I'm a 2021 setter committed to play at Mississippi State University, and I'm here today to talk about my experience during the recruiting process. My recruiting journey started this summer going into 7th grade when I got my first letter from a school in the Big Ten. I was really lucky at the time because recruiting rules hadn't changed yet, so I had 2 years before my freshman year to talk to as many coaches as possible. Everything that I was told to do was coming from websites, so it was all just very basic information. I was getting interest from some schools, but I didn't know how to take any of it to the next level, especially while I was changing positions from middle to a defensive specialist and finally setting. By my sophomore year, things were getting really serious and I really needed some help. I'm lucky enough to have a very good friend in the volleyball community that got me in touch with Lauren. From the first call with Lauren, I felt so much more confident in where my path was headed. Lauren helped me understand what I wanted in a school and in a coaching staff and in a community I would eventually surround myself with. Lauren got me calls with everyone who was interested, and I never turned anyone down. That was one of the smartest things I ever did. Talking to coaches made me realize even more what I preferred from a program, and it also just gave me overall practice for calls in general. You also never realize that even if a school you've had a few conversations with says no, there's a high chance that they'll recommend you to someone else. I was getting on calls with coaches almost every day for hours at a time. It may seem like a lot, but just remember that this process isn't supposed to be easy. You're going to get told no a lot more times than yes, and you just have to understand that that's normal. I never would have expected to love Mississippi State as much as I did when I first heard they wanted to talk to me. But after a call with each coach, I started to fall hard and fast with their program. Even though I loved the coaches so much, I still wasn't quite sure I was going to go there. But when I drove onto campus for camp, I started to get a feeling in my stomach that other girls who committed places told me I would get. It was almost like a warm, comforting butterfly feeling, and that was the moment I finally started telling myself this could be my home. After the first night of training, I went back to my dorm room, called my mom, and told her, this is my home, this is where I'm supposed to be. I had already fallen in love with the staff and their mission for the program, but after my time at camp, I had fallen in love with the school and the team. I called Coach Darty a week later and told her I was finally ready to be a Bulldog. I know it's a hard time for everyone going through the recruiting process, but trust me when I say there's a light at the end of the tunnel. Even though I was in a different situation, there were still times where I felt like my childhood dreams of playing college volleyball weren't going to come true. You just have to keep working hard and trusting the process, and I promise that if you do those two things, you'll end up where you're meant to be.